Good evening and welcome to round 4 of the GT4 Championship hosted by ifwl.net and HSR Motorsport. We are here at Spa, a very wet, dismal Spa. Very similar to the weather we've been experiencing in the UK. And right now we are watching Sir Jim Fox with a brand new livery. He is heading out on his practice run. Welcome to whoever has just joined. You're tuned in to HSR and ifwl.net, watching round 4 of the GT4 Championships. And I was just saying, the weather is very similar to British summertime. So we might have quite a spicy race ahead of us today, where we are going to be dodging a lot of curbs, a lot of chicanes, a lot of people. Maybe some people will drive into others. Who knows? We will find out today, but the forecast looks wet, wet, wet. Some of you may have noticed last week I was not present. I apologise for that. There were some personal circumstances and I could not be there. So yeah, appreciate your words of sympathy. But we are back and I am still alive. Thank you for asking. How about we jump to an onboard with Mr. Fox himself? Not looking at him, of course. And not the passenger seat either. That's probably the better view. A lovely purr of the V8 coming through there. Heads-up display on his dashboard, looking like a teenager's wet dream with the Corsair RGB. Other RGB fans are available on the market. Very careful and considerate driving from Mr. Fox. Testing the limits of his car, making sure that the setup he has today is going to put him in an ideal spot. Oh, and as we were talking, he put a nice little backslide out there. Cheeky. Hope that wasn't just for the cameras. And that was an exceptionally clean lap from Mr. Fox. Very good. Where does that put his race timings? Unfortunately, there was not a valid lap. I'm not surprised, because it's going to be very difficult today with these wet conditions. Let's jump on board with someone else. Jumping on board with Matthews now, driving a KTM. Let's get an external camera view for that. We have someone just leaving the pit lane there. Excellent. So current standings at the moment, we are looking at the fastest lap time set by none other than himself, Lucas Hanak, with a 2:36.8. Looks like he's in a Lightning McQueen livery today. And just next to him, it looks like we have our resident Texan, can't seem to see him in the list. How bizarre. It looks like it's not his car after all. But it is very colourful. It's number 727. And that is a Dave Brown. Now that's going to be an interesting race when it comes to it. Mr. Brown and Mr. Mullet is going to... Oh, well, they are. Beg my pardon. Their liveries are going to be very similar, and I shan't spoil the surprise, but John has a very striking livery coming up, much like this colour scheme that you see now. And as always, the field is 50% Porsche, with a little sprinkle of Ginetta from Turner and Davies. Oh, and Mr. Reynolds as well. Excellent. Excellent. Nothing like spicing up your repertoire of cars in a circuit like this one. I shan't bore my audience too much longer, so we're just going to jump on board with Yanis, who has a South African livery today. Look at those colours. Absolutely fantastic. Brighter than some of my outfits that I wear on a Tuesday. Oh, he's taking it wide. Lovely. Yeah, keeps it on. Keeps it together. Jumping on board with Yanis. Our resident Gazelle, as he starts his new lap. Hearing the roar of that flat six, approaching turn one. Oh! Might be the camera work that's putting him off. Let's jump over to Roman in also a Porsche, number 15. Now Roman joined our team this year and has made quite significant contributions to HSR in the way of media. He's helping our racers who are all contributing towards our efforts in the community, and Roman is actually working on the graphics and media, and he's doing a stellar job, I must say. Really good job. But more importantly, it's his driving we're here to watch. Carefully does it, getting ready for his next lap. Unfortunately, his race logic clock is still saying he's not started a new lap, so that's probably an ACC bug that's occurred there. But I can tell you he is building himself up at 4.5 seconds currently behind Lucas Hanak. Taking a very confident and daring line through Eau Rouge there. You can really hear the inside wheel there touching that curb. You can really hear how wet this circuit is. Approaching 100-meter board. I believe this is one of Roman's strongest circuits, as he also has some race experience in real life. Perhaps sometime we can get him on an interview and talk about his race experience outside of the virtual track. But so far, me likey his racing. So while it's pouring down in the virtual world, it's actually quite stuffy here in the commentary box, the real life commentary box that is. Don't think the virtual commentary box really cares what temperature it is, as long as you can hear sounds. But yeah, the heat hasn't gone. It's making me sweat profusely. I've even got the fan on, and the fan's doing a mediocre job, to be honest. So I'd recommend not going to Argos and picking up a bog standard fan next time you pop in. Best time to buy the fans in any air conditioning unit, Christmas. Could not recommend it enough. Lovely bit of equipment. Much like your car, you can sit around at your leisure and remain sweat free. It's a very, very interesting luxury to have. So, enough about middle class appliances. Let's get back to Roman, taking another stab at the lap. And the deltas are suggesting that Hanak is taking a few tenths off of his practice time, with Roman 4.8 seconds behind the leader at the moment. It's important to note in the races coming up, that we are going to see some interesting weather effects on the circuit. So you're going to have some parts of the circuit that are going to be dry. Maybe not the racing line necessarily. So we might start seeing from the Gold class today that some drivers might be looking to use bizarre and unorthodox racing lines, because it's all about what line matters most in the rain. The most rugged part of the circuit isn't necessarily the driest part of the circuit. As Roman comes through bus stop, let's see if he's managed to snatch a quicker lap time, crossing over the line. He hasn't quite done it. He hasn't quite done it. So let's jump on board with another racer today. Let's jump on board with Rakstani, number 25. I do apologise if I've pronounced your name incorrectly or created sound salad with your surname. Please correct me later on, but that is a lovely livery. Electric blue and black. Tearing it up towards bus stop. Oh, he nearly had it on the back end there. But he's done a good job to recover that. What's his lap time going to be? Is he going to improve? Unfortunately not. His best is currently a 2:49, and that last lap was a 2:56. All about trial and error during practice. Seeing how much you can push your car. Where you need to back off a little bit more in these adverse weather conditions. Coming up through El Rouge, taking it mildly sideways there. Tearing it past our camera crew. Oh, look at that! Comes to a textbook cinematic 90s action film stop at the top of the hill there. And back into the pits, where I'm sure he's going to have a chat with his race engineer and ask what happened. So let's go on board with Davies here in a Ginetta. Ginetta's being a UK car, are set in a right-hand drive configuration, unlike the other European counterparts and American counterparts that we have in the series actually. Davies is currently in the bronze category. Currently leading the pack for the amateurs. I do apologise. Amateurs being bronze. I must remember how to translate those names across. Comes at a bus stop. Now, is this a valid lap? We're going to find out. It is. But unfortunately he didn't improve on his last. So it looks like he had a minor slip halfway through the circuit. Let's do another on board with him now, as he starts through turn 1. Coming up over the hill now. Doing well on his deltas so far. Keeping it tidy. Again, not eating too much curb there. Setting himself up nice and tight for the next corner here. Fantastic. Laying off that outside curb. Not too much runoff in this weather. And here we can see an interesting take on the racing line there. Very late apex. Taking it incredibly wide. Oh, little slide. Go on, Davies. You can keep it glued. You can do this. Jumping back on board with Davies now. Really trying to find that grip. Car's going slightly sideways, stepping out just a touch. Late apex once again. Interesting strategy that Davies has taken there. Oh, and just holding on there. He fought that curb and emerged victorious. You can still see him fighting for traction. His wheels moving left to right as he comes up through bus stop now. Careful movements. Currently 2.5 seconds behind the leader, Hanak. The time to beat is 2:36.485. Comes over the line, and he has not achieved his best lap time. He is 0.5 off his best in practice. Good work, Davies. Alright, let's take a look at Demir now. Car number 44 in. Oh, let me guess. It's a Porsche. Yes, it's a Porsche. The fan favourite. Other German vehicles are available. It's just such a well-balanced car. But to be honest, I have not driven this in the rain, so I couldn't really comment on how it performs in the rain. But we shall find out. Across our 50% of drivers sporting the same four-wheel automotive. Demir is also in the bronze category today. He is currently third in the bronze category for the practice timings. Eats quite a lot of curb there, but he still manages to retain a valid lap. Might call you Indemiri Jones at this rate. Look at that. Nice, lovely slide in. Very well controlled and balanced. Right, I'll stop waffling now. I'll allow you to all peruse the driver's racecraft at your leisure. Checking out the standings at the moment, Demir is actually doing a great job for the bronze category of races. It looks like we have a little bit of lag going on here. A little bit of jazz hands going on the cars. Seems like service is still continuing, so we are fortunate in that the weather might not be favourable, but the show still goes on. Coming through Speaker's corner there. Keeping it. Oh. Might be seeing a lot more of that today. That's unfortunately an invalid lap. So, I was mentioning Mr. Mellot earlier with a very striking livery. So, allow me to introduce Mr. Mellot's striking livery. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's John with a shark livery. When we get a chance and he's back in the pits, we will take a closer inspection at that livery. He has some very fine art skills in the realm of creating liveries. You can certainly tell that he enjoys making these for the community. You mention it, it suddenly appears within the week. So not only is he good at his artwork, he's also very quick. So here's Mellot just preparing for his test lap. Coming out of La Source, heading towards Eau Rouge now. Jumping on board with him now. Very careful driving. I'll certainly let my grandmother sit in the car with you, Mr. Mellot. Probably not on this circuit, but you get my gist. Good footwork there. Good footwork as he's come out of Malmedy, heading into Bruxelles. So, I listened to your feedback, and I am here to deliver as always. So while we're watching Mr. Mellot taking his majestic drive through the Ardennes forest, I shall give you a few snapshots about a brief history of the circuit. So the original track was designed by a fair gentleman called Jules de Thiers and Henri Langlois van Ophem, and this 14.5 km circuit was a combination of public roads. And they went through the towns of Francorchamps and Malmedy and Stavelot. And geographically speaking, it sits in the Ardennes region of Belgium. Although it was designed in 1925 initially, the full-length circuit wasn't actually used until 1947, so that's after World War II. By the 1960s, the cars had become too quick, so it was causing drivers to actually boycott the race in 1969. Since when did speed become a problem? Well, that was probably because there were quite a few accidents. So this particular race series that the drivers were boycotting moved to Nivelles and Zolder. We're all familiar with Zolder. One of the base tracks that's featured on Assetto Corsa Competizione. But it did return to a completely new track in Spa in 1983. So that's super interesting, that. That's not something that you expect from a history of racing, that drivers are boycotting any races that occur at the old circuit. I believe they modified Eau Rouge and Raidillon because that used to run in a different configuration over the river that actually runs underneath Eau Rouge. If you have any additional comments, of course, please pop them in the chat on stream. Don't be shy. Would love to hear from you. So, enough of John. Let's take a look at Levanios, who is driving an Aston Martin today in the British Racing Green. Ooh, a little bit of tail happy there. So going back to the Spa-Francorchamps trivia, we shall return with more history bites, more trivia bites. So if you're partial to a pub quiz, you can come armed with all that knowledge that they're probably not going to ask. But it's always good to know. It's always good to know about your track knowledge. Okay, bear with me, just give me a little break. I'm going to go on mute while I have a quick snack and a quick sip. So, I'm back. After a brief drink and snack interlude, I am appropriately fueled and watered for the next few minutes because my metabolism is on point and I digest and metabolize food that quickly. I'm sure that's not right. Anyway, back to the racing. We're still watching Lavagnos overtaking Mr. Fox there. The quick Mr. Fox gets undertaken by the zippy Lavagnos. The pair of Astons battling it down, looking very much forward to more of this action happening later on. Coming down the start-finish straight. He has not quite beaten his time of 2:39.7. It's not about how fast you are, it's about how consistent you are. It's all very easy for me to say, but they make it look easy. Coming through Eau Rouge, Rady on there. So that's Lavagnos returning to the pits, making some minor adjustments before the practice session that's due to start in less than 15 minutes. Sorry, I do apologise. Qualifying session. I think it's about time to have another sip and snack. But before that happens, we are now watching Josh Redhead, also driving an Aston Martin. No, I apologise, it's a Mercedes AMG. I really need to start looking at the badges, really. But it's nice to hear that warm, fuzzy feeling of the V8 purring. Interesting mystery machine colours coming on today for Josh Redhead. Currently representing the Open Lobby Racing series. Beg your pardon, it's not a series, it's a Discord community. He takes it over the line. That looks like a 2:39 is his fastest, but currently just finished a lap of 2:41. That's a good effort all round. Jumping on board with Josh here again. As you just heard, the ABS was kicking in there. Quite the unique place for the ABS to kick in, actually. With the weather conditions still very much wet, but it looks to be that the weather is easing ever so slightly. So maybe our drivers are in for a little bit of luck. Maybe there's a glimmer of hope that we're going to see dry conditions. I don't want to jinx it though, maybe I already have. We shall see what happens in the next 10 minutes or so when it comes to the qualifying. So if you're just joining us now, we are live watching round 4 of the GT4 Championship with ifwl.net and HSR Motorsport. Commentary brought to you by none other than Adam Ty. Sat in a very temperate to sweaty conditions in the commentary box. But don't worry, I am surviving. And I'm going to keep you company for the entirety of this stream. So taking a look at Oliveira, also driving a Porsche. No. Someone going slightly wide there, coming up towards bus stop. And he takes it over the line and doesn't quite manage to nail his current best. Looks like it's a trending pattern with our drivers today. Road conditions, despite the weather waning. Oh, it's actually gone back to wet. There you go. Oh, we have technical difficulties on the track there. I do apologise. Looks like we're back in action again. Okay, it looks like our technical difficulties are still continuing, so just bear with us. I shall be back very soon. And we are back. Watching Oliveira taking it sideways. Small technical difficulty. But it appears that we may have resolved it for the time being. As Oliveira roars past the camera there. So we currently have 4 minutes left of the practice session here at a dismal Spa in Belgium for round 4 of the GT4 Championship, hosted by IFWL.net and HSR Motorsport. So Oliveira is about to start a new lap there. And maybe not. Maybe he's just going to park on the side of the road and have a picnic. No, he's gone to the pit box. All right. All good, all good. Okay, so where are we? We've got Hanak on the circuit at the moment. As he gives a bit of space to the car in front to get his practice run in, with just over 2 minutes left of this practice session. We still have awful weather. Looks to be raining throughout the entire practice session today. Confidently taken up there, and he's invalidated and parked in the barrier. That's what most of us drivers would call a whoopsie. Jumping over to Douglas now. Douglas is currently sporting a track time, putting him second in the practice session today. With the Golden Gazelle, that is Mare, car number 5 in the Porsche Cayman, currently first in the silver category. Douglas in second and Oliveira in third in terms of race timings. Over at the gold category we have Hanak in first, Visor second and Soares in third. And then taking a look at the bronze category we have Audsley driving the Ginetta for number 92. Currently in 6th in practice, which is a very good effort for the class. Followed by Davies, also in a Ginetta, 2nd place for category, and 9th overall. And then followed by Lycett, who is 3rd for bronze. Very shortly we're going to be heading over to qualifying. Fingers crossed. We're going to see drier conditions in the qualifying run. Let's hope our drivers are prepared for that, with setups that are not geared towards all wet weather conditions. We still have a few people out on circuit. Including Zlatnik. Zlatnik sporting the Team Snail Esports livery. The iconic snails tearing it up, arriving at bus stop. Doesn't quite have the time to rival Hanak. So there we have it. So bear with me. I'll be right back while I make a few technical adjustments. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Watch out for slippery curves and remember to brake earlier.
Welcome back. So, we are back to some nasty weather conditions again. It's raining here at Spa. And
30 seconds.
we've got 30 seconds left until the full formation lap starts.
Twenty seconds. 10 seconds.
So as our full formation lap gets underway, so as it stands, we have Suarez, Ostracharts and Hanak in first, second and third, all representing the gold category, followed by Douglas in 8th, Price in 10th and Redhead in 11th for the silver category. And then you have Demir, who's out by himself with an outstanding qualifying lap for the bronze category in 9th position, followed by Lycett and Audley in 15th and 16th. So we're getting ready for 1 hour of intense wet weather racing. I certainly hope our drivers have the wet presets sorted out, because it looks to be wet, wet, wet all over again. Coming out of Stavelot there. Tension's building. Looks like we have a car that's currently in the pits. It looks like they may not have hit drive quick enough. So they'll be missing out on that spot in the when the lights go green. looks to be Ayan and Brancaccio's actually ended up in the pits as well. That's not a good start from those two gentlemen. So eyes back on the front of the pack. We're just coming through chicane now, getting ready to start round 4 here at Spa. So let's get ready to rumble. We're ready to go. We're ready to go. And it's green. Oh no, it's not. And oh, the tension's too much for me. It's too much. And there we go. No, we don't. What's happening? Oh, is it? Isn't it? That looks to be a green light. I can't tell. Some mild server errors and broadcast errors coming through here. And there's the green light. There we are, green light here at Spa. Heading down through Eau Rouge and into Radion. Oh, we had a few people come off there in the background. It looks like Hanak and Redhead have actually taken a early detour coming up through there. Let's just take a look at that replay there, shall we? This is far too far back. Okay, we'll come back to that later. I'm sure it'll be in the highlights later. So, as we are attacking... Oh, we have some people coming off there. Coming out of Bruxelles. This is not a very good start to the race at all. And we have Mare that's taking a slight detour out to the side there. And that's worth it, looks like. That's actually coming up, challenging Mare for that spot. Levanios and Hanak are moving up the field. Looking at the battle for second and third. It looks to be quite tight as Visor is testing the limits of his car. I apologise, that's Visor that's testing the limits of his car going sideways. That was a lot of contact on the first few seconds, and we've just had a bit more contact happening towards the back of the pack. Looks like Davies is struggling for position at the middle of the pack here. If you are watching this, I do apologise for the stream quality. As we arrive after lap 1, it looks like Davies has taken an early pit. Maybe he's taken some damage from before. Hanak is moving very swiftly up the field. With Suarez in first place currently, followed by Visor in second. He just managed to take that place from Ostracharts. It's a very close pack indeed here, between second and fifth. Visor pulls away. You've got Ostracharts in third, with Turner and Mishk very close behind. Demir's making some moves up through the field as they come through Bruxelles. Panak's made some more moves up the field. He is now 9th, overtaking Hosco. Now got his eyes set on Demir here. Got a fight between Redhead and Ian. Looks like Redhead has gone slightly wide there. Conceding his position to 27th place, with Matthews taking full advantage, taking 26th. Oh, and it looks like something's happened. Something's happened. Let's just check the logs. Seems to be a fight for position coming up through erosion at Radion there. We have had a disconnection happen, so that's car number 420 has, and that is Connor Coles has unfortunately left the race, and so has Ian. Ah, that's really unfortunate. I think this is something to do with the server quality at the moment, so we do apologise for the server connection that's happening here today. So it looks like Mellet has taken full advantage of a slight slip with Price just now. Meanwhile, the front of the pack is very well settled. Oh, it looks like there's been a position change at the front. Suarez and Visor are fighting for position there. I do apologise. Visor took the fastest lap time of 2:36.8. We still have some light rain here at Spa. That's not putting off any other drivers. Ooh, that was quite a wide cut from Visor, taking that third corner. A bit too tight and validating his lap time there. Let's hope he hasn't actually pushed it too far for track limits, incurring a warning. We have a few more position changes at the back with Zlatnik and Cools. So Cools is still with us as they come up through Eau Rouge and Radion. Fighting for that 19th position. Oh, it looks like Pullars had a small accident there. Let's just check that replay a second. Oh no. Oh no. He's taken it a little bit too ambitiously coming up through those corners there at Lacombe. That's an unfortunate circumstance for Pollard. He retains his he's got 14th position for now. I apologise, he is in 15th position. Heading to the front, we have a battle for 3rd position between Ostracharts and Turner. As we come up through Courbe Pourfray. Watching Ostracharts' moves like a hawk. Maintaining his cool. Coming through chicanes now. Losing a little bit of time on Ostracharts coming out through chicane there onto the start-finish straight. Looking at Pollard and Mellot. Pollard's having a very... Oh, and he's just gone and lost it at the same corner again, taking out the Pirelli side. I'm sure Pirelli won't be happy about that at chicane. Mellot comes down the start-finish straight. Currently 16th position. Meanwhile, fighting for 5th, we have Reynolds and Mishk battling it down the Kemmel straight. And he takes the position on him. He takes that position. And makes excellent ground. And you can see Hanak in the background sniffing for Mishk's position. He is making an absolute stomper up the field. And we're only 12 minutes into this race. Is Hanak destined to be moving up the field? Currently in 7th. Some excellent driving there from Reynolds and Mishk. But how long is Mishk going to hold off Hanak? We shall keep a very close eye on that. Meanwhile, the quick Mr. Fox and Worth are battling for 11th position. And just as we've been speaking, Hanak has taken Mishk for 6th position, now targeting Reynolds. What a machine. And it looks like Worth has just lost his position to Fox. Going through the Fang there. And it looks like Douglas is having a go on the inside. And he makes it, he does it. He's taken him. He secures that position. But Worth's secret weapon is he has a straight line beast. So is he going to have him on this straight down Courbe Pourfray? As we're approaching the chicane now. Fox is edging ever so slightly forwards. Looking back up the field, we have Hanak who's looking at Reynolds' 5th position right now. As he comes down Kemmel straight, he has him on the inside and he tackles that with absolute finesse. No hesitation, no delay. Hanak is absolutely cleaning up the field. Jumping on board with him now. Hanak is certainly the apex predator in this scenario. Now sniffing out The smell of fourth position. Oh, there's been a bit of contact. There's been some contact between Ostracharts and Turner. Ultimately, we're losing some positions. Let's just go back to that replay and see what happened. I apologise, I haven't got the timing set on this just right yet. So here we are. Ostracharts settles for 7th position for now. Vires and Suarez are having a heated battle. Arriving at chicane. Meanwhile, Hanak is a mere 10 seconds behind that pole position that Suarez is currently holding. The question is he going to hold it for an additional 45 minutes? There you can see Hanak's silhouette just appearing out of chicane there. They take it up through Eau Rouge and out Radion. No hesitation. Reynolds is following in Hanak's trail of glory. Oh, and there's been a position change up front. Oh, they're still fighting for position. Vires and Suarez door to door, hub to hub, bumper to bumper. Sounds like an absolute automotive romper stomper going on right now. Tackling double gauche together, almost hand in hand, like majestic swans. Once again, I do apologise for the stream quality that's happening right now. Jumping on board with Suarez now. That wet weather not even letting up one bit. Very challenging conditions for our drivers here, but these two are doing a stellar job keeping it together. No one has actually, at the front, has taken a pit stop yet. So it looks to be our drivers are very settled with their car setups. Not enough car damage to warrant doing an early pit stop. As that fight continues, we have Yanis, who has just taken Ostracharts from the pits. He has now gained 7th position. Our Golden Gazelle taking it down to turn 1. As we can see in the front there, we have Mish and Turner fighting for that 5th position on board there with Mayer. Ostracharts have taken an early pit to resolve the damage he sustained from that impact we saw on board with Hanak. Oh, and Mish has just taken a position on Turner. coming through Kemmel Straight. Very dynamic racing going on there for sure. Just over a second gap between them now. Looking towards the middle of the pack between Brown and Rakhshani. They're currently fighting for that 15th position. Less than a second between them. Being very calculated on the acceleration coming out of Bruxelles there. Coming into Speaker's Corner. It looks to be that Brown is gaining time on him, ever so slightly. Over the fight in 9th, Lavanios and Douglas. As you can see, Douglas's shadow is looming in the background of that rear view mirror. Two Aston Martins battling it into Blanchimont, surviving the turn cleanly. Arriving at chicane, is he going to make that overtake? Is Douglas going to make that? Not quite, not quite. But is Douglas going to have the exit speed on that? Not quite. Lavanios still retains his 9th position. Looks like Mr. Fox has taken an early pit. And Mr. Brown has taken an early pit as well. We are at 22 minutes into the race. My maths failed me miserably. So just looking at the front of the pack, looks like Yanis managed to take advantage of Turner's unfortunate condition of his car, which puts Yanis in Mr. Mayer in 6th position. So as it stands here today, we have Weiser in 1st position, holding over a 1 second lead on Suarez in 2nd and Hanak in 3rd. Hanak is slowly clawing those tenths slowly towards 2nd place with 8-second gap from Suarez, followed by Reynolds in 4th, Mishk in 5th and Mayer in 6th. We're going to be close to a lot of folks pitting very soon, and it looks like Mr. Brown has a drive-through, which means he was arriving into the pit lane a touch too quick. Oh, and it's turned into a stop girl 30, which means he's left the pit a bit too quickly. Oh, that is not a good outcome. Oh dear, oh dear. So jumping on board with Lavanios. He's currently defending his position, 9th position from Douglas still. Oh, and that was some very close driving there. And it looks like Douglas has him on the corner. Oh, and he's just managed it. He has just managed. Has he got the exit speed? It looks to be that they are side by side. Coming down the start finish. Nope, can confirm that Douglas has retained that position for now. Douglas is now 9th Lavanios is 10th. We will keep an eye on that action going on. Meanwhile, Worth and Bowler are fighting for it, with Lycett just hovering in the background. Let's jump on board with Worth. Let's check out Bowler's view there. Worth giving him a little bit of a shower. Coming out of Kemmel and down the straight. As they enter Lacombe. Very tense and close racing going on. Lycett is edging closer and closer. Meanwhile, Hanak is clawing back. He is now 7-second gap from Suarez, who is 2 seconds from Weiser in first. This certainly looks to be a very, very close race indeed for Hanak. Oh, and Bowler's just eaten a little bit of grass there, and Lycett takes it. He takes that position. Which makes Bowler in 13th, the unlucky 13. Misch is now pitted, leaving Turner in 6th. Many of our drivers are now taking their pit stops at the halfway mark in our race here at Spa for round 4 of the GT4 Championship. Meanwhile, Mr. Mello is having a great race today. Must be the new Shark livery that's doing him some good stead. Arriving at turn 1, the source. He has Rakshani very close behind him in 12th position. Just taking a look at what's happening in the pits right now. So there goes Misch, leaving the pit lane, having completed his pit stop. Lycett's also in with Bowler. They are currently waiting for their turnaround to complete. It's a matter of time now who's going to come out on top. But let's not keep watching that. Let's jump over to first and second place with half a second difference between the two. Weiser and Suarez. Hanak is now 6 seconds away from them. So they better watch out. They better not cry. It's not Christmas yet, is it? But I'm telling you why, because Hanak's coming to town. I wonder how they will defend their position of first and second. Just over 30 seconds left. Suarez looking for every inch of circuit to try and gain on Visor there, invalidating his lap time. Once again, let's hope that hasn't become anything sinister in the terms of a drive-through penalty. It looks like we've had a few stop-go 30s happening here. Bowler is currently sitting on one in 18th position. Lycett looks to have a drive-through penalty, potentially a little too fast on pit entry. It looks to be that Fox and Davies are fighting for their positions of 16th and 17th. As they come through Blanchimont. The gap seems to be consistent. There seems to be no mistakes being made there or any speed advantage being made. Coming through chicane, ready to start a new lap. So, your commentator today, myself, Mr. Adam Ty, has some more factoids to share with you, as promised, about our circuit today, Spa-Francorchamps. So, in terms of locale, this circuit is situated in a little village called Spa and has been popular since the 9th century due to the supposed healing properties of its water. And the town became synonymous with healing waters, and now every well-being centre is known as a spa, thanks to this town. So how about that? Next time your partner asks if they can go to the spa, you're sorted. Quids in. You have a legitimate reason to go to a spa. You're welcome. So we have many people in 4th to 7th position taking their pit stop. At minute 33, Worth squeezes through and takes 6th position, leaving our resident Texan John Mellott in 9th, who is yet to pit, so that will be a short-lived 9th position, but that is a very good standing for Mr. Mellott at this time. So we're just on board with Worth here. Some very careful footwork from Worth here as he comes through Speaker's corner. Well, I can't tell if that's damage or if it's part of his livery. But it certainly looks effective. certainly looks effective. So, as it is now, Hanak has taken second position. But he's yet to have a pit stop. So perhaps his strategy right now is to gain as much time as possible on his current tyre set. It doesn't look to be that he's affected too much by the conditions here at Spa in the wet. He does seem to be very comfortable with how his car's performing. Jumping over to the 7th position fight between Mare and Misch. Misch is very calculated in keeping in Mare's slipstream. Looks to be that V8 has a little advantage on that torque coming out of that V8. But Mare's Porsche has done... Oh, this is some very late braking. Oh, and he's gone slightly wide. That's a small mistake there from Misch. It looks like he's taken a pit, which is a very nicely styled out manoeuvre. I'll let you have that one. That was a mistake on my part. Currently, Mare is in 6th, enjoying a very, very nice gap between himself and Hosko, who is currently in 9th position. So it looks like Ostracharts is certainly having a look at Hosko's position. Coming up through Radion. I know for a fact Hosko is at home on this circuit, but Ostracharts seems to be giving him a run for his money. As they come down Kemmel Straight. It does seem that the Porsches have a slightly more pull in the higher gear ratios, lending to more top end speed. God, this is super close racing. What's going to happen here? Is Hosko going to leave him some room? He does, he does, he does. Oh, and Hosko might be able to squeeze him on the exit there, coming out of Speaker Corner. And he does, he manages to squeeze him. Fantastic racing there. Excellent. Ostracharts is still giving him a run for his money. As they've left Double Gauche and coming into La Fang. Oh, was that a little bit of contact? Oh no, and Hosko's gone, has spun. And Ostracharts has been an absolute Samaritan and let Hosko take that position. What a gent. What an absolute gent. But that's left the door wide open for Douglas to attack 8th position. And this is what makes the race so interesting. All of our drivers that we have here in a GT4 Championship are true gentlemen. And what an example of gentleman behaviour. Gold star for Ostracharts today. Massive fan, massive fan. Checking out Misch and Fox, they are currently battling for 11th position. The 3 race leaders are still yet to pit. And Ostracharts is certainly holding his own on Douglas. As we're blasting down Kemmel Straight, it looks like we have some very close car action going on between Ostracharts and Hosco. Who's going to be the winner coming out of this corner? Ostracharts has the speed, Hosco has the inside. Oh, there's some more door banging, and Douglas sees the door and says thank you very much. And there's still some more battling going on behind. And we have some more 3-on-3 action. A slight little nudge there from Lavagnos. Is Hosco in trouble? He still retains his line. Coming into double gauche. Jumping on board with Lavagnos to get the full view of all the drivers here. Coming out of double gauche. Lavagnos is having a sniff at Hosco. Coming into Lafang. Oh, and he's very close racing there. He leaves enough room. There's a slight little touch there. Still retains that position on Hosco. That is some competitive racing. I can't imagine Hosco's confidence has been knocked here. This is one of his babies, one of his circuits. Coming into Blanchimont now. Backing off just a touch, but getting slight edge on Lavagnos coming into chicane. Oh, and he slightly overcooked it going into chicane, losing a bit of time to Lavagnos. This is not Hosco's race. This is not his race. So as it stands, we have Hanak in first, Reynolds in second and Suarez in third, representing the gold category. Mayer is holding fifth for silver, but first in category for his category. Douglas in second, and Lavagnos in third. Then looking at bronze, we have Davies in first, Worth in second, and Connor Cools in car number 420 in third. Checking out the battle with Mishk and Fox. As they head down Kemmel Straight, the two V8s absolutely tearing it up. Very reserved and calculated movements there from Mishk, waiting for his opportunity on Fox. Coming out of Bruxelles and into Speaker Corner, Fox is still retaining that lead on Mishk. Only 0.1 of a second between them. As they come through double gauche. Fox is edging ever so slightly away. So as it stands, Hanak and Reynolds have taken their pit stops finally at minute 45, leaving Suarez and Weiser in first and second. So Hanak is now just leaving the pits. With a 10-second gap behind Weiser. Is he going to make that 10 seconds back? As it stands, he is still on a podium place if he retains this pace. What a roller coaster of a race for Hamak here. Currently 12 seconds behind second place. We have Yanis, who's taken a pit stop. I believe he's already had his pit stop, so it must be that he's sustained a bit of car damage. Jumping on board with Redhead here. Coming on to Kemmel. Looks like there's a few back markers to make their way through. Redhead and Worth in 11th and 12th possession, respectively. Holding some very comfortable positions, especially for Redhead. Fox ahead of him, just with 3 seconds difference. So it looks like in 16th, Rakshani and Melot are having a battle of their own. He has 0.1 of a second. He's just overtaken Melot on the straight there. Melot not looking to have such a great time on the circuit in the last half of this race. Worth is catching up to Redhead. He definitely has the exit speed on him. What's going to happen here? Looks like Worth took that position very comfortably. Going through Blanchimont. So they now arrive at chicane. The positions seem to be settled there. Worth retaining that 11th position. Seems to be the pack is settling fairly nicely now, as we are arriving at 48 minutes complete of the race. Meanwhile, 13th position. Mayer is having a go. Coming down Kemmel. And he takes a fantastic opportunity on Redhead and takes him on the set of corners there. And the timing couldn't be any more impeccable. My fair and wonderful partner has brought me my dinner. But alas, we must complete this race. We have 10 minutes left. Nail-biting action going between Worth and Mayer there. Mayer takes that position on Worth, and then Worth takes it back. Blimey. I can't keep up. The smell of my dinner and the race going on. It's just too much to comprehend right now. Taking their time through the greasy conditions. Mayer certainly has the slipstream on Worth. He really has had the slipstream on him. Incredible amount of distance between them, like over a second different. Mishka's taken a pit stop. Unsure what his for what reason he took that pit stop, but that leaves Mayer and Worth in 10th and 11th respectively. Keeping an eye on the front. Oh, and that we have Mr. Fox, who has just left the pit lane, and Mayer took 9th position off of Fox's hands for him. Which leaves Fox and Worth battling for 10th position there. As they come up through Lecombe and onto Malmedy. Puller and Lycett are having a nice battle towards the back. Just over half a second between them. There's 8 minutes here left at Spa for round 4 of the GT4 Championship with IFWL and HSR. Currently we've got greasy track conditions. The wet weather not letting up. And it seems that Hanak has had a bit of a bad start, where he was knocked off circuit, but managed to claw his way back up into 3rd position. But from the looks of it, with an 11 second gap to 2nd, and 15.5 seconds different between him and Suarez, it doesn't look likely that we're going to see Hanak back on the 1st place position that he has felt comfortable with for his last few races. There's Hanak having a comfortable race with a 26.5 second lead on Reynolds, who's 4th. Oh, there's been a bit of action between Fox and Redhead. Jumping on board with Fox now. Careful footwork by Fox coming up over the hill. Oh, it looks like Redhead took a little bit of a detour, pushing track limits. Oh, and Spicer has gotten himself a drive-through. How did you manage that, Visor? Well, that's not a good outcome for Visor there in second position. Which no doubt he will at this rate lose his second position to Hanak. At the back of the pack we have Puller and Lyset fighting for 21st. Jumping on board with Lyset so you get a better view of his competition. Very interesting lag artifacts going on right now, I do apologise. I'm sure he's not driving straight on there. So this is certainly not good news for Visor, as Hanak has taken seconds of difference between him and Visor. He's now 4 seconds behind. Certainly is not a good outcome for Visor. Suarez is enjoying his first place position. Meanwhile, the rest of the pack are enjoying a nice gap between themselves. As it stands for the bronze category, Worth is in first, Rakhshani is in second and Mello is in third. This is the first for Mello with a third position in his category. Let's see if he retains this pace. In silver we have Douglas in first, and Vanios in second and Mayer in third. Hosko has taken another pit. Looks to be that he had some damage. I'll be checking that out in a moment. Meanwhile, Ostracharts and Cools are having an interesting battle. No doubt, Ostracharts has pulled away from Cools, leaving 2.5 seconds between them. And there goes Hanak, taking that second place as he comes through turn 1. Reynolds is 20 seconds behind, no doubt going to take Visor for that third position. As long as there's no accidents that are going to come up his way. Hanak is now 8 seconds behind the race leader. Unless there is a mistake that's made now, I can't see Hanak taking that first place from Suarez. Suarez has had a very consistent race today. Certainly enjoyed some very relaxing driving with no pressure from any drivers. Meanwhile, there's still the battle for 19th between Lyset and Puller. Is Lyset going to make a move before the end of the race? We have less than 2 minutes here at Spa. Puller has a drive-through, so he is going to have to take that pit stop. He's going to have to take his penalty, inevitably giving him his position. Oh no, something's happened to Visor's position. He's actually fallen back to 6th. Not able to retain his lead on Turner and Douglas. There we have it. So we have just over a minute here at Spa, where the race pace seems to be settling in now. Everyone's locking down their race pace, making sure that they're keeping their clean laps. Absolutely no mistakes to be had here in the last minute. Ostracharts and Mello are fighting for that position of 13th. And there we have it. The leader's on his final lap. Mello is hunting Ostracharts down. He's still in third position. A fantastic outcome for John. Well done, sir. Keep up that great work. Hanak has managed to claw in his lap time ever so slightly on Suarez. 5.5 second difference. Some very strange work going on the server right now. Meanwhile, let's check out Ostracharts coming into double gauche. Oh, is Ostracharts going to make a move on Rakshani there? He does. He takes that 12th position off of his hands. Does that mean this is an opportunity for Mello to take a sneaky second? Oh, and Hanak seems to be catching up with Suarez, which seems to be because of a back marker. Oh, this is going to be super tight for the last corners for the race. This is not what we need now. Cools needs to move out of the way to allow Hanak to come through. And it happens, he lets him through. Which leaves Hanak and Suarez just less than a second difference between the two. What's going to happen here at Spa in the last few corners? Suarez is still having some challenge getting past that back marker there. Hanak is creeping ever so slowly with less than a tenth now. Going through Blanchimont. Oh, and he does it! He does it! He sneaks through. He takes it. He's first place. Hanak manages a monumental effort of taking first place here at round 4 of the GT4 Championship. What a fantastic race there, Hanak. Leaving Suarez in second. What a outcome there, and not the outcome Suarez was after. Ah, Suarez must be fuming with the back marker. Absolutely fuming. I'm sure the stewards are going to hear about that later on. Meanwhile, Visor is retaining a second gap on Douglas. Ostracharts and Redhead are fighting it out for 10th position. Visor's had sustained quite a bit of damage. Rakshani and Fox are having a battle, as is Mello. Oh no, and Mello's just spun! He's spun! This is not what he needed right now. This is not what he needed. Okay, back on the gas, let's go. He's still got 4th position, third position. As long as he maintains this trajectory, this is all he needs. So, in terms of race standings, Hanak defies the impossible, takes first position, starting all the way at the back and blasting his way all the way through the pack, all the way to the top, to the front, in a nail-biting finish between himself and Suarez. Suarez taking a very unfortunate second place due to back marker interference. And 3rd place there for Turner. For silver category, we have Douglas in 1st, followed by Lavanios and Mayer. And for bronze, we have Worth in first place. Rakshani is still yet to cross over the line. And there he does it. That is second place for Rakshani, leaving John Mello coming through chicane and taking a very well-deserved third place. Excellent work. Excellent work, people. Excellent work. Okay, so there we have it. That was round 4 of the GT4 Championship here at Spa in Belgium. Some very interesting upset happening at the very end of the race there. I'm sure we're going to be hearing about that in the Discord paddock. So just bearing with me, I'm going to pull up some race highlights for you as a treat. What an emotional race that was. So looking at the outcome of this race, sorry, this is the wrong screen, just bear with me. Do apologise, we don't have any highlights saved for you today, but we will create a roundup very shortly in the coming weeks of this really heated race. I captured as much of the events as possible, and I hope that what was delivered was your expectation. This is your man, your commentator, Adam Ty, for the GT4 Championship, hosted by ifwl.net and HSR Motorsport. Signing off. I shall see you next Wednesday. Ta-ra for now.